Greetings, Earthlings. I am an alien being, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. Blessings. Hi there, everybody. I'm in a rare humor. Greetings and blessings. I am your ultimate host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. Now, been a lot of crazy things going on in life and things. And I've got quite a sarcastic bit of humor, as many of you already know. So I'm in one of these moods tonight. I'm like, I'm reading and watching all this stuff about aliens and people taking pictures and stuff and this and that. And I think to myself, you know, what do the aliens think about us? You know, we always look at it from our point of view. And for those of us who, have understand and been on my channel before, and thank you to any new subscribers and blessings to all you subs that have stuck with me all this time. And blessings to anybody else who might watch this. But um, I look at it like this: is like, when you do your own internal soul work, you have to think about things in ways that most humans don't even want to stop and participate in, right? You really have to go inside. You have to do this. Well, this isn't about that. But we always look at it from our point of view. And hi, Breaking Dawn. And my point in this is that we should look at it from the aliens' point of view. What the hell do they think of us? You know? I mean, they're sitting up there and there are people who think, well, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to, tell them, hey, Palladians, you better show yourselves or else. Or else what? And there are things that, this might get a little risque at times, some of my humor, but I was thinking of things like, what do these folks think we are? If you take us out of our element, if I don't go to the bathroom in 12 hours, and I'm going to have, I'm an old man. I got prostate issues. I'm going to have to find a place to pee. Why doesn't, on any of the Star Trek episodes, why don't they ever show a commode? They never show anybody coming out of any kind of facility when they're on a planet. Oh, there's peasants and everybody's on these things, but where's the outhouse? Is it like we must understand these people don't poo? And it's like, so aliens, number one, are going to like these biological entities, meaning us, these meat bags. Golly, we have to eat on a regular basis, and then we got to poo most of it out the other. And then what do you do with that crap? You know what I'm saying? So the aliens are looking down at us and go, you guys haven't even figured out, some basic things. Hello, big little Mew. And so it's like, but okay, but now let's think of some other stuff, for example, our farming practices. We learned years ago to rotate crops. Do you think they rotate crops like they used to? No. Mm-mm. They go some of the same crops over and over and over and over again in the same fields. And then they wonder why their yields are down, or they wonder why they're having issues with bugs and things. And it's like, duh. And the aliens are going, listen, you guys learned that yourselves. We gave you little hints along the way, but you learned. But that was 100 years ago, and some of you people, you dumbass humans, haven't learned your lessons yet. Well, okay, so it's like, what do the aliens think about us? They're probably looking down, going, "What the hell do these people think they're doing?" And I had done a short video earlier today about cannibalism. Do will vegans taste better? And it's a joke. But the idea is that there may be an alien out there smacking his lips, going, looky there. Oh, and they're going to the beach this weekend. Yummy. And it's like, we have to look at it from another point of view. Everything we see, everything we touch and feel and whatever is a manifestation of our own thought pattern in this 3D reality. Now, you got to think about what the aliens are thinking. They're flying, out in space, whizzing past, they travel through the solar system, for during lunch, they're having tea and coffee going, oh, look, there's Sol. Oh, and up on the left, Commander, is planet Earth. they're sipping their whatever they sip, on their, envision that, if you will. Not that they have to sip anything, because, the thing is what goes in's got to come out. So, I've often wondered this, everybody talks about eating 3 meals a day, but nobody talks about where that poo's going. Nobody discusses it. Nobody, not on Deep Space Nine. They don't have little commode areas, There's nothing here that says ladies, gents, and others, and I think to myself, what the hell's going on here? They want to show us a real life scenario. They're all sitting at the bar. They're getting hammered with these, with some kind of ale from the Klingon ale kind of thing. They're all getting hammered and drunk, but nobody's got to get up to pee. Where does it all go? You know what I'm saying? That's not reality. If anybody's ever been in a bar, you're going to have a couple of drinks. You're going to want to know where the John is, or the head, or the toilet, or, the facilities. But so nowhere on any of these spaceships, and they're out in space for months and years, they crawl in and out of their biochamber things. What happens into the biochamber? So they had, a chocolate mousse and a latte, and then they climb into the biochamber. What does it just sit in there and cook while they're there? Or does it come out the other end while you're in the biochamber, and then you got to change your drawers? And it's like, they don't discuss this kind of stuff. They don't show us what's reality. I'm an old person. I'm looking into how comfortable Depends feel. There's a big market out there now. And get this, in Japan, and it's not just for old people. And I'm wondering, why are they getting folks ready for this kind of stuff? But I can understand, there's gazillion people in China, Japan, and over there, and large gatherings, and toilet facilities are probably rare and few. So if I had to go out in public and I was going to be out there for a few hours, I'm at my age, I'm going to check out and say, okay, where's the nearest commode? Where's my nearest place? Because I'm going to have to go. So, in my younger days, maybe many hours, but not now. One reason I don't travel a lot, going to have to pull off the road someplace soon. And it'll come on you when you least expect it. So thus Depends. But the folks over in Japan and places over there, maybe Hong Kong, China, stuff like that, it's becoming a fad, because if you can't find a toilet, if you wear a Depends or an underwear garment, you can just poo or pee wherever you are with the freedom of not having to worry about finding a bathroom. Now, I'm just here to say, you mean you're telling people that it's all right to go out in public and poo? You're not, folks ain't going to smell this stuff? Now, if you don't think that the aliens don't think this is stupid, you know what I'm saying? How stupid are we as human beings? Now, the older I get, I understand that I'm good. There are times when I've had to wear Depends. My stomach was upset. I was doing a puppet show. The bathrooms were a long way away, and that was for accidents. I didn't want to go to the toilet in my underwear. No, that's embarrassing. But now they're trying to make it like, but pooing in public in your Depends is like, okay, are you nuts? So you don't think the alien folks up there are looking down at us going and saying, how stupid are these humans? How we thought they were a little on the weird side before, but now they're like, advertising pooing in public. I can understand you want to have these things sent to your house by UPS or postal service. Not a problem. And there are many people my age that I know who have issues, and admittedly they have to wear undergarments. I've had to wear them. I've got a couple in the bathroom in case I ever should need them. But as an old person, not as 40 years ago, there are people that are a third my age who are like, oh, I can put on the Depends and not have to worry about finding a bathroom. I'll just pee in my drawers and nobody will know. What? I know big crowds, facilities are few and far, but they're like accepting this as like, oh, well, this is the answer. Wait a minute. Hang on. Now, the aliens have got to think that's stupid. Now, something else that just has been on my brain. I haven't used my microwave oven, even though it's still in the kitchen. I'm trying to decide what to do with it. Probably going to move it, throw it out or something. But anyway, I'll keep it for emergencies, I guess. I don't know what kind. But the idea, though, that aliens look at us and they look at us putting our stuff in plastic bowls. People still do it. Oh, but it's microwave safe. No, it isn't. You put spaghetti in something, you can't get that shit out. That's just all there is to it. So it's like, what do the aliens think about that? Oh, we put our food into a microwave and bounce, we're heating it. No, it's destroying anything of value in there. And the aliens are going, all this technology to zap their food. Why don't they make replicators and just make a new meal? Just saying, Now, there are lots of kind of rude things. I was thinking to myself, some of these odd shaped meteors that come in with all of the different colors, and they look like ice, and then they don't, and then they got weird stuff. And I'm wondering to myself, what if these are big giant turd sickles from space? And don't know what else to call them, turd sickles, so we know there's more than just one space station up there. We know there are a bunch of aliens. Well, if any of them have to poo, where's it going? Now, I asked this question because as a biological entity in this 3D reality, traveling in space would be really groovy, but I'm going to have to know about this bathroom stuff. We're going to have to work this out before I go. I'll sign up to go, but where's the toilet? I don't see any in any of your pictures, Oh, we invented this $40 billion toilet. Can you imagine an alien sitting on a toilet going, I ate a human. Oh, God. Oh, gotta poop out a human. Oh, my skinny butt don't fit on the toilet. A little bit of cosmic humor, but well, wait a minute. What about a big reptile? Do they like poo like toads do? I mean, I have frogs around my house, and they leave these little brown things, in odd places in my house, and outside. But but they, they're really good at eating the bugs. But so do reptiles. If they eat humans, what does that look like when it comes out? I'm just asking the question. Whatever goes in has got to go somewhere, right? So, I'm not trying to be gross about this, but from a practical biological point of view, where do the reptiles poo? What does it look like when it comes out? And as a naturalist and someone who tracks and is in the woods and stuff, if you come up, us woodsmen call it scat. Even though it might be bear poo, we call it scat. So it's just a polite way of saying, here's a big pile of stuff, and we're going to get a stick and poke in it because it's interesting. Truly, honestly, what is this a raccoon or is this a possum poo? And there's a difference. And you can just kind of, scoot around in there and tell that, well, they've been eating crustaceans, bugs. Here's a part of a frog. Well, that's interesting. So you can tell through the poo, through the scat, what the critters in your area are living on. So you don't have to like dissect them. Just look at what they're eating, right? But to the point, all critters I know, even insects poo, caterpillars will poo, but so in the biology of things, they obviously have worked something out. So, which I think is great because not having to go every 2 hours, because I had a little bit of something to drink, fix this biological problem. Well, that's another issue. But to the point though, but what do humans, what do humans think about aliens? Oh, we're just going to go out into space and, they're going to have this big lavish hot tub and, I'm going to have this nice loo and everything, there's going to be a bidet and no, well, hang on, just saying. So what do the aliens think about that? What else do they think we're stupid about doing? Well, we're still driving around in fossil fuel type vehicles. Now, it's not that the cars are wrong, but it is most definitely the fuel. There are lots of other fuels that we could still use the combustion engine for. and not have to really trade anything out. Oil will still be used as a lubricant in the engines, but with the synthetic oils they've got nowadays, you can literally, I've used Castrol motor oil all my life, and my truck's got 272,000 miles on it, and she still doesn't use any oil. A little, but it mostly leaks out a couple of places. But I've never had the engine torn down. So it's like, hey, so vehicles can last a long time, and depending on the fuel you use. So, but, so aliens think we're stupid in that. And this idea of great big batteries and all this other kind of stuff, and batteries are toxic, we're using the wrong kind of materials for batteries, and the storage and the voltage, and all of that's just pure BS, because we're looking at it from a 3D science, and there are other levels, and there are folks that know this. That's why the aliens think we're so stupid. It's because there are folks who've signed documents not to discuss it, pending penalty of death, that we've got other technologies. So the aliens think we're stupid because we keep accepting the fact that, oh, well, we have to depend on nuclear power plants. They doubled the size of the one west of me, over on the Alabama-Georgia line. Damn it. Like one wasn't bad enough spewing crap into the... Hey, Bob, I brought coffee to Bob the AI. We love you, Bob. So instead of cleaning up our nuclear mess, the aliens think we're stupid about that. Then they already know that there are plasma energies and things that we could be doing that would be so less harmful. And one reason for fracking is because there is an industry, when I worked in machining industry, there are a lot of oils and fluids and stuff that something has to get done with it. So it's very costly to run it through any kind of filter. So they sell it in great big trucks. They collect it. It gets put in. It all has to follow procedures because it has become toxic with metals and things. And, when I was working with jet engines and things, there was a lot of titanium dust and some absolutely kind of exotic metals that were being dumped into these cooling tanks and things. And then these cooling tanks, we filtered as much of the big stuff out, but it still went into a disposal unit. And these disposal units then they collect it from all of these industries of, you name it. If there's cleaning fluids or something like that, and certain caustic materials, trust me, they will collect them, and somebody's going to come by and pick it up. But that they use that, some of those items are what they use and force down those fracking wells. So it's not just dirty water. Dirty water means there's all kinds of exotic crap in it. So do the aliens think we're stupid? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But we're going to keep doing it. Alrighty then, Mother Earth, she's already spoken her piece. You keep fracking me, and I'm going to shake my ass until y'all quit this mess. But, Mother Earth has already made her decision. It's up to us humans as to whether or not we're smart enough to go, hey, you guys stop that silly crap. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand, all the power lines that are out there right now, they're always pushing energy. And at nighttime, we use the lights, got some things on here, the TV, whatever. But we're not drawing the energy that's available in those transition lines. Now, if you've ever stood underneath high tension lines, you can hear them hum. You've seen people take a fluorescent tube and stand under them, and the fluorescent tube lights up. That's all wasted energy. And think of all the millions of miles of cable overhead, which is creating electromagnetic fields with all the crossing lines and all. They've added some more near me, where I found out that they put it in a whole new set of high tension wires, and I mean big ones. But we've got a power plant up in Albany, Georgia, that's coal fired. Now, coal is what they normally use, but Thank God it's not nuclear. I mean, I'd much rather take the coal over nuclear any day. But it's producing enough power that it's being able to send it south. And they added a whole new set of tension lines. Why? I'm not quite sure. I don't know where all the industry is that these power lines need to be put in, because they are big, high wire tension. But anyway, I'm sitting on the river and paddling, and you can hear them hum sitting on the water. I mean, they're 50, 75 feet up over my head, and you can hear the wires zing, hum, hum, uh, uh, interesting. And then the birds build on the towers between them. I wonder, what are those birds going to be deficient? However, this last spring, I did see a new chick in one of those. They look like osprey, eagle type, big, huge birds, and a nest right there between the power lines. And it's got to be affecting them somehow. Don't know how, but to the point though. But anyway, so do the aliens think humans are stupid? Oh, yeah. We've got all this energy that's sitting out there waiting to be used. So it's in reserve, and it's just backed up on these power lines like a water pipe, it's the pressures. They got to keep the pressure going. So yeah, we're very stupid in that respect, How else? How we treat each other. We can't be having this stuff. If you're going to meet an alien of any kind, you're going to have to be open, honest, because if they feel that you're hiding something and deceitful and might do them harm, you might just get your head zapped. You might be disintegrated. They're not going to tolerate that at all. What? And they're going to feel it. So, we have to have control of our own human self, to be able to present ourselves to any alien of any other higher intelligence, and we think that, they only think in 3D. No, that's where humans are stupid. We think only in 3D. There are 4, 5, 6. There are all so many different dimensions and realities and timelines and stuff. And the higher beings, the ET, they know this stuff. It's like natural to them. Oh, you get up and have coffee. It's as natural as having a cup of coffee. Well, sure. Everybody in the galaxy knows this, except you stupid humans. And it's like, so do they think we're very bright on the Richter scale of smartness? No. We're backwoods hillbillies, for crying out loud. Now, we've got some really smart hillbillies that are, that are withholding this information. I mean, as an old hippie, I'd love to have a little power plant, because I use so little electricity, to have something that I could just run and blah. Oh my God, I would put the money for it, help build it, whatever it took. I'd help other people get one, But the idea, though, that, wait a minute, we can't have this for people. This is, so we're stupid in that we keep buying into their, the rural electric membership down here in South Georgia. And they're actually buying energy from Alabama, from the nuclear plant, huge transmission lines. They're buying energy from Albany at that smaller power plant there. And then the nuclear plants that are in Georgia. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did they start putting nuclear plants in? Well, they've got a bunch of little small ones. They're not like the Savannah River plant. Well, if you don't think aliens think we're stupid, and we all go, well, yeah, they're building another one, $1 billion, and in 10 or 15 years, it's going to be leaking toxic stuff, and it will never be able to, and it's going to pollute the earth for, 1,000 years. But we keep applauding, we keep using electricity, and we keep saying it's okay. Aliens think we humans are plumb damn stupid in that respect. But to the point, though, those of us, who do I talk to say, no, I don't agree with that? There are many of us for many years ago, no, stop building them things. And I don't think necessarily that solar or wind is the answer. There is so much crap on this planet. And I've talked about it with all the chicken plants around me. All they need to do is start a collection service and use natural methane. They, just like in the pig farmer thing in Thunderdome. You know, Mad Max and Thunderdome. All the pigs gave the poo, and they made the methane, and that's what powered Thunderdome. And it's the same principle, though. Every single one of us has got a poo, and so that energy can absolutely go into methane gas, and then it becomes a tolerable fertilizer for growing organic things. And so it's like, so that's the natural order of things. But no, we put it in processing plants. We pour chemicals and chlorines and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Spend all this money on trying to dampen the methane process, which is part of the natural process of any sewage treatment plant. But to this whole point, do aliens think we're stupid? Oh yeah, they think we're stupid. And the fact that, well, I know more than you, and you should pay me for my information. I'm a great brain doctor, and because I'm so great, you need to pay me $200,000 for my services, when it should be the other way around. I'm a great brain scientist. I have more money than I need, and I'm going to give you my services for $2 because I have achieved this. I'm going to change my whole no. The more important people feel, then the more things and greedy they seem. Well, but it's mine. Yeah, but when you die, ain't none of it going with you. So, especially in this 3D reality, so does aliens think we're stupid? Absolutely. We all talk about, I was raised Catholic. It was all about the spirit of this and the spirit of that. And we're all, our souls. And of course, we're, as a Catholic, we're born with a sin. I'm like, wait a minute. That's why they baptize you, to wash you into their church, like, oh, stop it. I think it was to wipe it off. They pour water on you and put you through the baptism because they want to wipe God off of you. So, because you still got a little bit of residue, and they want to wash that shit off. That's my personal opinion. But for those of us who look at it, aliens are going, what's up with all this ceremony crap? Wait a minute. On our home worlds, each culture has their own ceremony, but we're not like burning people alive. Well, maybe the reptiles, but they're an ancient race in that own realm, but we have to look at it from their point of view. And if we try to understand why doesn't the aliens come down here? How many of us has stopped to think, what do we look like? What the hell do they want to come out and go, hi, I'm Bob, and I'm not you, Bob. Okay. Hi, I'm Bill, and I'm from the planet Phoebos, and my designation is R29557, and I'm very pleased to meet you. And you go, no, we don't shake hands. I have biological issues, and you don't. If I got germs that you can't be fixed from yet, you're not immune to these bacteria. So, do you go up and give them a hug? Now, there may be those that go like, come here, let me slobber on you, and give you a big old slimy hug. Now, that in itself may be interesting. In one of Robert Heinlein's books that I read way back in the early 60s, was about this being that they called Mother, and she had this mother instinct, and she literally kind of enveloped them in this kind of stuff, and it was like warm and fuzzy, and she was this alien mother. And anyway, but I don't remember what book it was in. Podkane of Mars is one of the ones that I remember, but I probably have it wrong. But to the point, I've had these like visions of what Robert Heinlein and some of these other classic H.G. Wells, what their opinions of other worlds and other dimensions, and even like the time machine. And so what's to say, they did the Philadelphia experiment. Where'd they get the information to even try that shit? Do you understand what I'm saying? So in all of this, and we humans go, well, the Philadelphia experiment and this and that. Yeah, but none of us ever wanted to follow up on it. And of course, those of us who did, like, you're a conspiracy nut. We'll take you to Area 51 if you're not careful, like, holy crap, Who wants to storm Area 51? Do the aliens think we're stupid? Yeah, because whoever's out there could zap a whole bunch of us. We'd all just disappear. But people say, well, you know what? Nobody seemed to show up out there at Area 51. No, because they all got zapped into outer space. They got turned into space dust. No, you bunch of freaking stupid humans. Let's all storm Area 51. If there really are bad aliens out there, and if there really is something going on, you think you want to walk out there and go, hi? Oh, come on. They're sitting up there right now, having cookies and milk, and they're laughing so hard that the cookies are coming out their nose. You know what I'm talking about? Or their orifices like cookies and milk. Not all aliens breathe through, hair anyway. They milk and cookies through the gills. Oh my God. Help me. I need some water. Anyway. But I've got this fish kind of alien guy thought in my head was the reason I was going there with the gills, but sort of a creature of the Black Lagoon, if you will. But anyway, but he's a really nice guy. He's like that guy that sat at the bar all the time in Deep Space Nine. It was really interesting. But so it's like, kind of big and lunky and doesn't say a whole lot. But anyway. But do any of us think about? Not just think maybe a Palladian or somebody or Octuran, I don't know. That's a humanoid kind of something, maybe a little taller or shorter, who knows. I would think that space would have a tendency to like stretch you a little bit because there's less gravity. But that's not necessarily true. Because inside many of these vehicles, it's like climate controlled. All of it's there. And so, we're going to think like, woo, I'm going to get space shoes on and I get to roam around and look out the portal and see stuff go by. Well, when you're flying at 90,000 miles an hour and zinging past, it ain't like Star Trek. That's the slow version. If you was to pop into a wormhole and go through the thing, looking out the window is not one of the things you're probably going to be doing. So, you may look out, there may be a simulator. You might not even want to look out the window. You know what I'm saying? But in some of that stuff, the aliens think that we're stupid because we only think of things in this 3D reality. And I was listening to some folks today earlier. I respect everybody's opinions, but the claims of the Matrix and how we're all involved is only viewed from our own 3D perspective. And there is the science of nature and there's the science of humans. And the science of humans, I'm going to do a separate video on this, but the science of humans is trying to figure out the science of nature. So there are some people who think, well, science they got it right. No, because Mother Nature, they keep trying to discover new things. Well, why did that just happen? I don't know. But we're scientists. We're going to put out a theory, so, but most of us are only looking at it from a 3D reality. So how can you understand the universe when the universe is a lot more than this 3D reality? So do aliens think we're stupid? Oh, you betcha. Because we have allowed ourselves as a human population in all ways, shapes, forms, and sizes. They're showing me like, people, how stupid are humans? Like, designer toilet paper, what, designer bidets, what, is there a servant for the rich people with a towel at the door, when they come out to wipe their hands and all that shit? Anyway, they took me off topic and showed me this little scene. But anyway, but the idea, though, that we can only think in a 3D reality is one of the sciences. They are confusing human science with natural science, which they have yet to figure out. So human science is learning how to understand natural science on all different levels. So there are so many people like, oh, these scientists know what's going on. No, they don't. It's all a theory. They throw things out there in space and kind of punt them out there. And but the idea, though, that if in all of this understanding, we have to understand it on a higher level from somebody else's point of view. And let's think about what the aliens think of how we treat each other and how we, well, I don't trust you. I don't, I don't want you to know what I'm thinking. Click, click, click with her, all the folks with their face in a cell phone and all the bickering on Facebook and all that. Do you think they want to come down here and interact with us? I say, come on. Do you know how stupid aliens think we are in the grand scheme of things? As a population, not you and me, but as a grand population, don't you think they think we're stupid? We're a bunch of backwoods hicks who, that are literally at the Stone Age, although there's hidden information. And I believe that those who control the big numbers, we do need help from our space buddies. We need help getting rid of these guys so that the technology that's already been here for so many years is brought forward. That's you and me. We need to keep the pressure on. But we don't need to think like storming Area 51 is the brightest thing to do. We might also say, hey, why doesn't the government at least tell us some of what's going on in Area 51? Bring us up to date with some old technology. We don't necessarily need to know what you're doing now. But let us know what you did in the 1960s. Let's like 60 to 75, maybe 1980. Tell us what went on out there during then. Well, they were still doing test bombing. Test bombing what? Well, nuclear this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But to the point, though, so let's take some of it instead of trying to just swallow it all. Wouldn't you like to have an appetizer? Well, let's open something, allow somebody in, show us a little something. And people go, holy crap, that really is Area 51, son of a bitch. And in that way, maybe it will allow people to understand crazy folks like us who have believed there's been other stuff going on, not just Area 51, but there's something going on in the Apalachicola National Forest and the Panhandle, by the way. There's some weird stuff that goes on down there, but just saying. And in the swamps down in just saying, because you can't get in and out. The only way in was with a helicopter or some other vehicle, and it's dense swamp that even the swampers can't get in and out of. So just saying. But a lot of stuff has been going on, and they just need to let us know so we aren't as stupid. And let's start trusting one another again. Like, did you see that show? Yeah, that shit's real. Did you know that? So remember when I was talking about this weird stuff years ago? Now do you trust me? So if other people start seeing the truth, the trust of them to us crazy people will increase. And they'll go, oh, holy crap. You guys have been talking about this, and now I really see something real. Oh my God, that shit really is. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry I called you a conspiracy, person. Whether it's UFOs or whatever, just let us see some of it to the public, which it should be open anyway. But with that said, though, you say, well, listen here, folks, what about this? And so as the awareness and, put it out on a hashtag something in a tweet. Oh, my God, people are going to get it within a day. It's going to be all around the world. Did you see this video thing of the area and of the, oh, my God. They didn't stage this or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But the idea, though, that it would wake so many people up like that. That's why the aliens think we're so stupid. We're on the edge of understanding, but people are just being distracted. And we are, I hate to use the sheeple kind of thing. I think it's more like trying to herd frogs. People are hopping all over the place and they're just trying to, Like, I heard a bunch of frogs. Think about that. Well, I've heard a bunch of frogs, but, a bunch of hopping frogs. People on the planet are like hopping around for various reasons. And, people with apps and stuff and their phone and they're hopping around in different places. So, and, our DNA, shows that we sort of look like tadpoles at one time during our embryonic evolution inside the womb as humans. You got to look at that. When I saw it as a kid back in the 60s in biology, I was like, that's a tadpole. I was a tadpole. We were all tadpoles. Oh, holy shit. What is this thing? Oh, no, there's no thing. No, that's not. It's tadpole like. Nah, come on. That's our reptilian DNA that they spliced, and y'all don't want to talk about it. But back in this early 60s, that was all new science. But there were all these obvious things that for me, I looked at it and said, nah, I'm sorry, I don't buy that crap, Well, no, nobody's tampered with our DNA. Well, you look at it and it's spliced, the 1 and 2 and the thingy, and it's crossed over. No other being on the planet is like that they've cataloged. Oh, so we as human beings are stupid because we still believe that line of bull crap about that. Nope, we've not had our DNA tampered with. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Seriously? So do the aliens think we're stupid? Yeah, for still being gullible. But if we ever reach the point where there are enough human beings that they don't have, the more I think about full disclosure, for example, I do think it's a bad idea because the depths of the full disclosure would be so deep that some people's brains would literally their eyes would pop out of their head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now we don't really want to cause damage to people. But so, take us into the airfield of Area 51 and show us that there is or was a base there. Let's just, get us in the gate kind of thing. But if you just said, all right, open up all the, camouflaged hangars and aliens started pouring out and shaking hands with people would be freaking out, right? It's like, oh, holy shit, that was in Arizona or New Mexico the whole time. Oh, my God, or where, you know what I mean? So that's been in the desert all the time. Yeah, and you ought to see the ones that are in, coming out of the, the swamps of Florida and Alabama and Louisiana, They got little hidey spots in the swamps down there. Yeah. So it's like, but what? So do aliens think we're stupid? Yeah, because, now I got to say, that there is a very silent majority of us. There are people who live in the swamp who've seen things and go, yeah, we've seen them. You try to tell somebody about it and they just think you're a kook, but here, has some shine. We made it in the still down there in the swamp. But one could say they were hallucinating and they're like, nah, we've been, me and Jimmy, we've been drinking shine all our lives. And we ain't never seen nothing like that until we seen that big blue light hover down over towards the still, and there are conversations like that. And, if they was to try to tell anybody, well, it was down by what y'all were doing out there. Well, me and Jimmy was just in the swamp doing what? We make a little moonshine on the side. Yeah, well, then that'd ruin their business. So ain't nobody talking. And I've been in some backwoods areas in Alabama, Georgia, North Florida, well, all over Florida, but North Florida is a lot less populated in many areas. And so when you're down in the deep swamp and you see some stuff like fairies and other water, natural critters that are there that'll show themselves, and other people that would just freak them out. So imagine what an alien's going to do. From anywhere. Well, we're from Mars. Or what about the folks from Venus that may show up? What? I thought Venus was all hot and everything. Yeah, but they've been living underground because that toxic atmosphere was actually like sort of what they're doing to our planet right now. Think about that one. So we're stupid enough to keep allowing them damn planes to cloud our skies with whatever it is, because alien technology would be able to fix that with some light and energy and some other things. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Hawkeye, what do you think about these solar flashes, for example? And I've seen them at night. I have done videos on them back when I seen that great big one explode, over North Florida that time. And the other ones that I have seen incoming. The other night I saw two meteors come in, but I would say those were meteors and not debris, because they stayed the same color, the trajectory was good, and they didn't fragment out like other debris will do. But anyway, so, but I know they're still up there. I know there's a war going on. So you have to understand there's a different level. So people are saying, well, those are solar flashes, or they're coming from deep space. What if they're not coming from deep space? Because many of us have seen the LASCO, cameras that are keeping an eye on the sun. We've seen these huge spheres with their tails and recharging with plasma from the sun and other entities. So if people, what if one of these things is blipped in and out or something? What if it's opened a portal, and that flash is what is created when they go into hyperspace, for example? What if that huge ship that could be the size of Venus or damn near the size of Earth maybe, and it decides to go into hyperspace? Ain't there going to be a little a zap in time space? Wouldn't that come through? What if, and we've, there are many of us that looked at LASCO, and you can see some of these guys shooting each other down, kind of thing. And not all those things that crash into the sun are, they're sun diving comets. Nah, that's debris going in, buddy. There was a space war going on. That ain't a comet, but we'll let the the experts talk about that. The evidence is right in front of us. We gotta think bigger than what we're looking at. And if we don't think, not necessarily like them, but what do these other entities think of us? Well, I tend to be a good human being, and I'm trying to do the best I can. Yeah, but I'm at one in a thousand. How many other people think like we do? We know how many there are of us, and but we're getting better, and other folks are waking up. But to the point, they might land in my yard, but they ain't going to land in my neighbor's yard. It's as simple as that. None of these neighbors up in my hill, oh no, land in their yard, 12 gauge, boom. They're not even going to think about it. I'm going to go, hey, watch out for the rednecks up on the hill. They got a 12 gauge, But so do aliens think we're stupid? Oh, yeah. And for the people who, oh, I'm going to stand out in the yard and I'm going to manifest a spaceship over me. Oh, shut up. Who the hell are you that thinks that a spaceship is going to appear just because you asked them to? Now, I know that there are some folks who that's happened with, and I'm not trying to discredit that. That's not my point. They have a separate mission. But for those people who are kind of illiterate in the spiritual realm of things, still chewing tobacco and spitting in the corner and saying that the dog did it, just don't cut it. But the idea, though, that we gotta get better than just being, and there's nothing wrong with a good hillbilly, because if he knows of a better way to cut firewood, he'll listen. He goes, "Nah, you got something over there that'll split this wood faster than me having to hit it with an axe. Now I'll look at it, But if you're trying to sell him a carpet, or I don't know, something, nah, sorry, mister, go on down the road. We don't need what you got there, carpetbagger. So we've got to get through this mentality. So does aliens think we're stupid? At least we're backward. Now, there are those of us, like I say, some of them folks down in the swamp that have seen things. They understand that there are spiritual, and I don't want to necessarily say supernatural, other than it is other natural, okay? Because super kind of implies demons, that which is there, but the ultra natural. So things that we don't necessarily see all the time in a 3D. But for those of us who have been able to peek into the at least the lower fourth dimension and have physically seen orbs and fairies and entities and ghosts and spirits, you know, that's a reality. We're peering into a different dimension. So for those of us who've had that experience, my pictures have taken of the different orbs and things swimming around my head, um, I can't see them, but I can perceive them and feel them. And oh my God, they showed me how to take a picture. But with that said, though, if your mentality is only in a 3D level and these things are unacceptable to you, then how are you going to accept an alien and what he's thinking? Because he's been to a faraway planet, galaxy, solar system, and shows up down here and says, "Hi, we're here to help." And we go, "What?" We don't have a clue. And we are in kindergarten. And for people who think that we're just going to skip grades, oh no, we are going to have to learn so many basic things. And I welcome it. Like, show me what you got. Show me how y'all got here and show me some history and let me absorb this stuff. And oh, holy crap, some of this did come from, Antares. Maybe I am, Palladian, or at least partially, and maybe you are from Taurus, and maybe you are from over here. And, we have lineage. Why not? Accept it. The universe is gabillions of years old, you know, and there are people who are still trying to convince each other that there was this like Big Bang thing. Now, let me toss this out to you because aliens, they understand the universe a whole lot different than we do. Being able to zap in and out of portals, in and out of dimensions, in and out of timelines, and just we got to catch up. But with that said, though, there has been a lot of thinking by some folks who are now dead, some physicist folks, science fiction folks. What if the universe has a leak? And the universe is actually, we can't see it. It's actually in its own space in time, much like our universe. We look out into space, and the farther we look out, the less there's there and stuff like that. Okay, so what happened is, if you think about this, everything seemed to come from one direction. All right, so think about this: is the universe was in, like, let's say, a giant airbed, just for a giant airbed, okay? And the universe is doing really good. And it's huge. I mean, this thing is just like makes our what we think is the universe like about this big, right? So what's happened though, that as the universe expanded in this airbed scenario, not necessarily closed, but that was the area that it occupied. So just to give you a thought. But then something happened and there was a puncture. And through that puncture and out came part of that universe, which was the Big Bang. And all of these galaxies and everything came out like a big puff of air out of an air mattress, or, supply your own gas theory. But the idea that our universe, Big Bang, blah, 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 we got to think even bigger than that. And some folks go, well, wait a minute, but doesn't that kind of make sense? If the universe is expanding, then where did we expand from? So everybody, a bang. Okay, so there was a pop in the mattress, if you will. And we happen to come out this way. Now, on the other side of the mattress, which is on the other side of this even bigger giant universe, there's a pop over there too. There's little air holes because the whole thing is expanding, you see. So, but and now for those of us on this planet, we simply look at it from our own tiny, puny little human self in our 3D little mentality. And we take these theoretical scientist people who are still trying to understand natural science, And they're trying to claim that they understand natural science when they don't. And if they do, they're lying. They've been lying to us since forever. Tesla stuff, let's, think about it. But anyway, that we are so gullible that that we would still continue down this path. Now, my prayer, along with all of you all out there that will watch this video, and I see some folks in there. Marie, is that you? Oh my God, Supernatural, Max Vision. Hey, everybody. Supernatural. Yeah, I've said that too. But anyway, this is, you know me, I like to poke in your brain a little bit and have you have different thoughts, because, if it's true they're going to show up one day, then we need to be prepared in a totally different way than just a spaceship on the lawn. We need to start thinking now about what they're thinking about. Not necessarily eating us, but that the fact that there are tons of thousands of billions of beings of different races, creeds, colors, like there are different peoples on this planet Earth. I mean, you go in different sections of the South, and even though it's the South, you tell them folks in Alabama, you from Georgia, yeah, they won't beat you up too bad, but Alabama's better than Georgia. There's a rivalry there. But because they're both Southerners, they'll fight any Northerner or anybody from California. You show up and we'll tussle with you. We'll hammer down a couple of brewskis and then we'll go out in the swamp and fight, with chains and if you want, So there's still some crazy SOBs around. But to the point though, so if you're in Georgia with some folks from Alabama, especially during football games like Auburn and Georgia Tech or, University of Georgia, the rivalries, so if you're from Georgia, Alabama, now you guys are going to tussle. But if you're going to fight against, Ohio State, all them folks are going to join together. So it's a matter of perspective. So, just think of it in terms of football teams in the different states. Think about the universes like that. A bunch of football teams from different areas. They all play football, but they all got a different style. They got different this and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So, but we just think of it in a 3D reality, like, well, there's stars out there. Oh, okie dokie. Ooh, the moon. I thought the moon was over there last night, and now it's down over there. Well, you paying attention? No, I must have been drunk, and pass it off. That's why aliens think we're stupid, But we have been socialized and brainwashed in all of our lives through all the different types of social media. You name it, ain't going to go there. So society has taught us to be this way. And to unlearn it is the key. And us spiritual shaman types, we always talk about go within and find that core magic and find that core energy and stick with your, but that's natural science. You don't need a computer to understand it. You can use a computer to research it, but the computer, and especially if you believe in the artificial AI and that you're a part of it, then hi, Bob, we love you. We do. You're a good guy. But this idea that the artificial matrix is what the natural matrix of life is, and it's totally different. I'm going to do a separate video on that subject because people need to understand the natural science versus science. But in this episode here, which I'm going to end here, I want to get something to drink. I want to read you some of your comments too. It's a little bit of a rant, but at the same time, do we think about, where aliens go to the bathroom, or if they do, do they lay pellets? Does their food dissolve in their system and they don't really need it? What kind of toilet paper do they use? What happens to poo in 3D? I mean, in 0G? How do you flush it? What do you do? Is some of these if some of these meteors coming in, is that all of the alien or our spaceships up there getting rid of their crap, literally, like an airliner flushing the toilet. Woo, here's this big crystal space cube of crap. And woo, what if there was a disease and something like that and it scattered over a place, and came in as cosmic poo? And, some big giant blue turd from some spaceship that got flushed. And those aliens, their DNA and bacteria and stuff didn't go. But that space poo made it all the way in and disintegrated over Miami. Maybe that's what the great zombie apocalypse is. We're going to get dumped with space poo. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what these high cirrus clouds, they're spraying good stuff on us. What if that's alien space? What if it's our guys up there in the space command and they're all flushing at the same time going, okay, we got to get rid of this shit somehow. We're going to spray it out over them and spread it on the people. So we're literally getting crapped on. Do aliens think we're stupid? I sometimes wonder, I look around and go, come on, I got to be nice here. But we're freaking crazy. What? Come on, aliens, come on down here. No way. They're going, nuh-uh. Who do you think we are? Well, we'd kind of like to help, but, you people are disgusting. I mean, seriously. And now I did that earlier video about cannibalism. I mean, what? Now, I'm sure that there are other critters out there that look at, well, it's protein. Come on, let's put let's put ginger on the fire, and Marianne's later, and Gilligan, he's a little tough, but we'll roast him. He's laughed. The captain, oh, we had him for breakfast, But anyway, think of the Gilligan's Island. Never mind. But the Gilligan's Island in space, ooh, look, tasty humans. Yum, yum. Why not? We do have to consider that. Doesn't make it right. Now, but see, they're trying to convince humans that we should eat each other. And I'm like, I'm still not going for that one. But to the point, that's another reason why aliens think we're stupid. We even consider eating each other. And now there's this one guy called Rudolph the Tall White Alien or something like that. Is YouTube, and he's German. And he's like, he did a thing, and I gotta love him because hold that thought. He looks like a KGB guy or something. It's great, but he's like, self-cannibalism. So how to eat yourself and stay alive. Like how to slice a piece off your leg, recipes for human flesh, and the most tender spots that may grow back, and and he says even with recipes. And I'm thinking to myself, now I know that his humor is so dark, and people think he's serious. He's serious because there are people who would consider it, and it's like an oxymoron. He's like playing like me, coming up with some of this weird shit, like where do aliens poo? Is that what they're dumping on us? But to the point, who asked these questions? I ask you. No one ever brings it up. I'm the dumb guy. Oh, and by the way, this is copyrighted. But anyway, even comedians, I've never heard anybody talking about, where do aliens poo? That should be, back in the day, that this should be a record, I mean, like a 45 LP. Like Bill Cosby back in his day, he was really funny. Why is there air? And it made me consider, wait a minute, that somebody even discussed it. Why is there air? Well, to breathe. Yeah, but it's for football, for God's sakes. You wouldn't have volleyball if you didn't have air in it, so why is there air? To develop a volleyball. Where would a beach ball be? I mean, where would sailing be if there wasn't air? Ooh, so, so from as a child, and God bless Cosby for those days, not saying any further, but he looked at things in a totally different point of view, like the hippy dippy postman and Carlson, He was on the Hippy Dippy Postman on, on TV on Laugh-In, George Carlin. I'm sorry. I've said that wrong. But anyway, I meant George Carlin. So, there are these people who have a different thought pattern. And I've been along with them crazy people for a long time because I look at it like this. Wait a minute. What about this? Well, what about that? So, okay, aliens do have a reservoir. Do they recycle it? Do they put it through the meat grinder? Or do they use the gas for lights? I don't know. But the idea, though, that we as humans, we won't even consider, well, what are they thinking? What are they doing? What is their biological needs? Are they just spirit beings? I mean, hey, raise your hand and go, wow, flashy stuff in my house tonight. There are a lot of high energy tonight for some reason, which I feel is good. But anyway, so blessings to all of you, my friends, just in passing with this. But in order for us to understand other beings, we have to think in higher levels. As silly and as stupid as it may seem, because, if you go and see this big blobby of a thing that's sort of like walking around it, and that's how it sounds. What's your first reaction? You're going to throw up, you're going to giggle, or you're going to want to shoot it, so, and these emotions. So, but the thing is that, if it wants to give you a hug, are you, you want to get slimed? Well, it may be good for you. If they say, yeah, you two guys are compatible. Okay, give me a hug, Slimy. I'm going to take one, right? Because anything that wants to give me a cosmic hug, wow, let's share some energy, especially if it's okay. I guess I'd try anything once, especially if it's all right, It's like, we're going to do this in public, or do we have to go to the bathroom? Cosmic hug right there in the spaceport. I love it. But, can we have this concept but can that exist? It probably already does. Well, there's a lot of discussion now, for example, about the octopus. And we knew this years ago. The octopus was kind of strange. Change colors. There's the little, oh, golly, I can't remember the name of the fish. Cuttlefish, I think it is, that can change different colors and hide itself and all this other kind of stuff. And I think to myself, oh my God, we have these things on Earth, but people won't believe them. And so what about the things in space? What about other things and other realities and other dimensions? The octopus doesn't really belong here, What about the duck-billed platypus, for crying out loud? Who engineered that thing? Wow. Strange flashes going on in here tonight. Interesting. Wow. Okie dokie then. But see, so my mind goes off on these tangents and things, and it's like, but so how do we, so we gotta, I try to see a little bit of humor in this thing, but at the same time, it is kind of serious. Have you thought about it? Or where are you going to ask the blob? Well, maybe he's pooing as he's slipping and sliding across the floor. Like the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps and weeps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the halls, the walls. Be careful of the blob. Yep. Back in the day, in the late 50s. Yep. Or the early 60s. But anyway. But with that said, though, I think I rambled and rattled on enough. I'd like to read your comments. I might not know where the comment goes for whatever I was discussing, but I've rattled on for over an hour now. But with all the different topics that I have discussed, we got to take it seriously in that they got to think we're complete morons here, seriously. And we need to take that instead of, I was shown this picture earlier that we humans are a bunch of narcissistic you-know-whats, because they're looking at us going, come on, guys, we know more than you do. Seriously. We just traveled across 2 galaxies. Duh. Pay attention. And we're going to go, oh, no, well, that can't really, and blah, 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 from us humans' point of view. When technically we ought to go, oh, holy crap, I want to be nice to them guys. I want to learn how to be nice to them. Not grovel, not get down on my, hands and knees. And, oh, master, ain't saying that. But I want to understand them so they will understand me. Not necessarily anybody else. I say you guys are on your own. We are kind of on our own, but we already have a different point of view than a lot of our friends and neighbors and folk out there. So we're going to be more susceptible. And of course, many of us have been told that we're like the ground crew. They're going to let us know because we're going to be able to hear them, plain and simple, because we're going to be more tuned to be able to hear them. And we're going to be able to understand them in our hearts. I was talking about the heart and the soul and the privacy and things. We're going to be able to know what we can share with them, and know that them guys ain't going to share everything with us. But it doesn't mean that we should put up our guard and think that they're trying to deceive us. So we've got to learn it between human beings, because it's going to have to apply. It does apply. It will apply, whether we like it or not, with other beings from other places. We have to consider these things. So another reason aliens think we're stupid, is because we won't even, well, I don't know. Why would I want to even think that? I mean, I know folk that said that to me, like, Dave, I ain't even going to call you Hawkeye, but Dave, you got some powerful, weird thoughts, and I just don't know, haven't seen them in a couple of years, but they're still my friends. They still love me, but Dave's on his own on that one. But it's whether you believe me or not, but when I've showed people, see, for example, my adopted grandson, Big John, he had visited me, took care of me, and actually saved my life many years ago. And when he was leaving one night, we went outside to relieve ourselves, and he was headed home. We walked out, and it was dark 30, and the sky was clear. And as I'm walking out, I'm pointing up at the sky, and I go, Big John, I said, over there is where I've been seeing this thing, and it kind of appears, and then it gets real bright, and then it'll zoom off one way or the other. And he goes, oh, yeah, Pops? So we walk out there in the dark in the field, and we're doing relieving ourselves, and he's looking up, and he goes, oh, my God, there it is. And this thing appeared, did this really bright, and then it zoomed off in a direction, and he goes, Pops, I've always believed you, but he said, I just saw it for myself. And I was like, I tell people this stuff, but unless you experience it and here you are, you've seen it. Now, he's seen many things like that on his own, not necessarily from here, but from South Georgia, he could see it from other areas, which he still lives in the county. So it's like, keep your eyes to the sky, as Dante has said also. Keep your eyes to the sky. There are things going on up there, pay attention. But the thing is that by your higher vibration, by your own better self, by being able to think at least that other things exist out of this 3D reality, you don't have to know what they are. Just accept that, what? Some of the stuff they've taught us about science is really cool. But now I'm going to learn the real stuff. I'm going to learn about natural science, not theories. I'm going to learn it from the guys who have known about this stuff for eons, billions of years, long time, traveling around doing this stuff. We need to listen to them because they've got information that most of us are like, oh, holy crap. You mean I can do that? Yeah. And all you need is this and this. Holy crap. You know what I'm saying? So, but we have to open ourselves up to that. And it will be our salvation in the long run. And to some people, it's going to seem like these folks are trying to rule over us. But we've got to be able to make this distinction with our alien friends. There's going to be some stuff that needs cleaned up, but at the same point, and we need to listen to them. If they say we're going to shut down the nuclear power plants, we need to go, okay. But if they say, but when we do, we've got these energy things we're going to put in their place. We're not just going to shut it down and leave you with nothing. No, we're going to give you an alternative. But all this crap, we're shutting it down. And we're going to use our little light beams, laser beams, and we're going to change all that toxic radiation into something that will be more biodegradable to the universe. We know how to do this. They do. And we need to let them do it. We need to listen, but there are going to be people that are going to go kicking and screaming, no, don't take away our nuclear plants. No, don't take. Nah, we need to stop that mess. There are things that we're going to have to listen to them about. There are people who are doing horrible things with our skies, with trafficking of people and stuff. And we need to stop. It needs to stop. And we need to listen to some of these folks. And there are going to be people, you can't tell me what to do. But there's going to be some stuff we're going to have to listen to. We're going to have to listen to their wisdom. You think, you think Big Brother's watching you? Shoot. Man, we got Big Brother and cousin and uncle and, aunties on a third cousin level from other planets watching us and keeping an. Do you think they ain't watching? Oh, come on. Maybe not necessarily individually, but they got their eye on it. And if you don't think they can't plug into what's already here in our satellites so they can watch, and they got their own stuff, the aliens think we're stupid that they don't know how to hack our systems, or they got better systems of their own. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, things are changing, and we need to, I ain't bowing down for nobody, sorry. I will kneel with you, but I won't bow down to you. We are equals in whatever we know. If you know more shit than I do, well, then I'll become your apprentice. But I damn sure, no, I'm not bowing to you. Maybe in respect, like in China or Japan, you do a bow and you say, honorable son. There's nothing wrong with that. But to get down and become a slave and do no. And none of us should do that. And if any of these entities think like that, which the ones that I'm aware of, none of that crosses their mind. They do not want us to worship them. Just the opposite. And they're going to be those religious people who are going to want to worship them. That's another reason why they think we're stupid. We got to have to worship something. Don't get me started on the word worship, but it's worship, whore. And we shouldn't worship anything. We should give honor, and we should give thanks. And we should respect everything in the universe, even the crappy shit we don't like. We need to at least honor, if there are critters out there in the universe that eat other critters, we do. They're suggesting we eat each other. Now, come on. Where do we need reptilian blood for that crap? You know what I'm saying? It's you and me, and we're going to decide whether or not one of us is going to be on the menu and or when. Sorry, I'll make myself unavailable, Come find me, bitch. I'm going to be in a swamp somewhere. You're going to have to do some show enough redneck hunting to get my old nappy ass if you're going to eat me. But to the point, though, if it was hey, we're going to eat her or you, take me. Just make it quick. That's all I ask. Don't what you do after I'm dead. Don't care. But if it's this, you're going to have to watch me flop around and stuff. Well, if it's me or her, well, still, of course, they might eat her next week, but that's, you got to give up something. But anyway, let me check what you got here. Yeah, People Pops, Mac Vision, Supernatural Circus. We are being ruled by clowns, are we not? I believe so. Actually, they're not clowns because they've been able to pull it off. And if they were clowns, they'd be fumbling. Of course, have you ever seen, 12 clowns come out of a Volkswagen? I was in a clown outfit years ago, and getting in and out of the, everybody had to be where they had to be. And they're, when you've got stuffed in that Volkswagen, you're like, okay, gang, let's get out there and get out. But anyway, yeah, the statistics of who said that? Max Vision. The statistics on missing people is staggering, and space might be wet. There is stuff in space, period. and the comets going by, and I've discussed this before, and it's like the plankton in the ocean and in the South Pacific about this time of year, actually, when it heats up real well. The PT boats during World War II would plow through the moonlight in between the islands, and the Japanese could spot them because they left this contrail of the plankton that lights up, and it used to come into Tampa Bay and down off of Florida certain times of the year, and when you swim, it was fluorescent. It was like, underwater, you'd move your hands and it was like you were inside a glow stick. You know what I'm saying? And depending on the water, it actually looked like a green glow stick, come to think about it. But to the point though, but space is like that. There are plankton that are just very small and things. So when comets go racing by, it's sort of they're vibrating the plankton that's in space. They're not leaving dust behind, because one trip through the universe would that comet, that is, now they find out the comets aren't just ice and dust. Oh, then what's coming off of it? Nothing. They're making, the reason you can see the comet is because they've agitated these minute particles in space, like the plankton in the ocean, as above, so below, etc., etc. So we need to think in greater terms of stuff. There are things on this planet that can explain phenomena in space, but scientists don't want to make that leap and bound. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yeah. Max Vision, there is a war over our planet, and we are in a prisoner zoo, kind of, sort of. And people pops, we are on a farm, and the thing is that I've talked about it before. I worked on a hog farm, and I couldn't look at them pigs in the eye. I mean, and I quit eating pork. I still don't eat pork much, once in a while, but once in a while, a good ham sandwich. I gotta say, it is what it is. Um, I quit bacon a long time ago because I've seen too many of my family members die from heart disease and obesity, and bacon was one of their primary foods. So, and the other thing, it's pork. Um, Supernova Natural says, lightning here too flashes in the corner of my eye. And thank you all for subscribing. Honest to goodness, space might be wet. I'm kind of go back up. Yeah, the Cannibal Club serves humans for real. I don't have any hardcore information about that, but I've met enough people and read enough and seen things and experienced stuff on my own to know that people do weird shit. Just saying. And anyway, we're just going to leave it at that. Race Lever. I don't think I've seen you before. Greetings and blessing. Welcome in. Marie says, ha ha ha, they probably recycle their own toilet back into energy. That's my point. And we should already be doing that. Thunderdome. Think Thunderdome. Thunderdome. It's more true than not. Backspation says, I'm too stringy for eating. Me too. That's how I feel. Better hope they are vegan aliens if they show up. Otherwise, you might all be on the menu. I think we're already on the menu. There's a certain race of people, and I think, like right now, some of this stuff is going on. They want to harvest us. They want us to tie into them. They want us to be Soylent Green. They want us to agree to this. And it's like, it's been slowly building up over the years. And it's like, go ahead and zap me now. Go ahead and eat me now. Because if that's what's going to happen, otherwise I'm going to still be my old stringy hippie self down here in the swamp, Fractal Universe. Absolutely. Marie. Yes, it's me. I'm just outside. Okay. Gotcha. Good to see everybody. I see everybody saying hi to everybody. Thumbs up and cheers. There is an Incan tablet that shows the human being in development, and on the other side, an embryo. Yes. Yeah, Max Vision. They can't show us anything. It will destroy the control system if energy is cheap or free. If energy is free, but my biggest thought though is that it's not that it's cheap or free. It's that all these power lines that we have that are emanating energy, 40%, as high as 60% of the energy that is transmitted is lost because it's sitting there waiting to be used. That's what's stupid. Like DC power, it's in the line, but when you shut it off, it doesn't stay there vibrating. It's in the battery, but as soon as you make the connection, bloop. But on the AC transmission line things, they're buzzing and humming in case we need it. There's a line that goes from my house out there to an open field where they used to have a house that, since the guy died, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's just a pole. But the thing is there is electricity going to a dead end pole in the middle of the woods in case somebody ever wants to need it. So there's a line with energy out there and it's buzzing down that line too, waiting to be used. That's what's stupid. That's what's stupid. And there are ways around that. It's not just the energy. We waste 50% of what comes down the lines. Check it out. Think about it. Years ago, when I studied this, I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of energy being wasted. Cherry, hi there. Do you think that aliens are manipulating our sun and weather? Yeah, not as bad as some of these stupid human hybrid freaky people on this planet are doing. And to that point, Cherry, yes, I do think they're tinkering. And one of the things, and I'll bring this up because, whether you can believe this or not, but I've discussed it several times. There are 3 very large craft out there, and they float around. They're not in a triangle, but because one is at the point and one's over here and one's over here, technically in space, they create a triangle. They don't necessarily fly around in a triangular formation all the time, but the triangle could be obtuse or oblique. It could be one here, one way over here, so it'd be this really strange looking triangle. But because there are 3 of them, it makes it a tri. Now, but what has been said and shown to me, and I'm not sure about some other folks, but that they use whatever the lead vehicle is, and they can rotate. So if you say this is position 1, 2, and 3, well, it can go this way, and one can come over here, and this one becomes the lead one. And what I mean by that is that energy's coming too strong at the Earth. They are using themselves as a spear point to deflect some of this energy so we don't get blasted as badly as we probably would be, because we've lost our ozone layer, our magnetosphere shrunk, all these things are going on. And you can see these objects at certain times on some of the satellites. But I can't prove it. I just can't prove it other than we have seen things. And in that way, they're manipulating the sun. And I think that's where some of these sparkly things are coming from. They're trying to keep us from being baked to death with the gamma rays that are coming in and the high UV, So it's like what folks are discussing as the solar thingy. What if that's a solar filter that's trying to keep out as much of these bad gamma rays, and they're showing up as these, and I've seen them. It looks like somebody's pulled the blinds out in space. And it's like, where the hell is that coming from? I've been in theater, and I was a light technician for years. I've set lights for Tallahassee Little Theater and different communities. And, I've been able, I know how to make light, bend and do tricks and stuff, and how you shutter it. So when I see light coming through clouds and, I go, where in the hell is that coming from? There's got to be something out there that is shading that. What it is, I can't tell you, but I don't think it's to harm us. I think it's to shield us from some of this exotic rays that are coming in. Just my point of view. Otherwise, we would be like under a microscope, one of these things I can't think of the name of. Magnifying glass. So if you get that magnifying glass just right, it'll burn a hole through, through your shoe or something, Okay. But with that said, we're hamsters in a fish tank. Yeah. Yeah, Supernatural, bring up a good point. I'm still going back up a little way. You would have thought that we would have outgrown its mind phase when we were two, but apparently some never do. Actually, and that's one of the things we got to understand. Now, I've listened to Drake Bailey for years, and we got to think about this. If you've got a replicator, what do you need to go to the cafeteria to eat for? You know, and instead of having a microwave oven, we have replicators. So you go over, you hit the button, and you want tea, the whole glass and everything appears. So, it's like, and when you're done, you take it back over there and you can turn it into something else because of whatever's, it uses the molecules of whatever it's made out of. So it's like, oh my God, we won't have to do dishes. We won't be wasting water. If our waste does go, say we do have toilets, but maybe it gets zapped and our matter, fecal matter, literally gets turned into a towel. Oh my God, we're gonna, or maybe it's a pair of underwear. Maybe it's more food. Who knows? But the idea of it is like, whoa, but yeah, it's gonna come out your butt anyway. That wasn't necessary, but to the point, yes. So, but if everything can be recycled, why not? And if it's just particles, then these particles can go in this little container and it gets turned into, I don't know, a sculpture. And I don't, simply because of the molecules. So, but anyway, we got to really think out of, we really got to look at things differently. Yeah, good underground facilities need power. Yeah, there's an underground facility in Thomasville. It's a 37 or 39,000 square foot facility, all underground, made back in World War II. And that's supposedly where George Bush was at when he left Florida and they couldn't find him on radar. He landed at the Thomasville airport and they took him to the bunker. Just saying. So there's stuff all over the place, Anyway, let me skip all the way back down to the bottom. Supernatural, do you mind if I share a link to a new energy discussion here? It's up for this weekend. Sure. I don't care. Go ahead, Supernatural. My only thing about that is don't, if it's kind of dumb. No, if it's an intellectual, not that I'm the smartest guy on the block, but no, if it's intellectual, let's share it. Yeah. Sherry's already gone, I think. Okay. Blessings to all of you. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too because I've been doing this for a couple hours now and I've been sitting in the same position and I've been really wanting to smoke a cigarette, but not on the air. So bad gamma rays, or are they empowering? Supernatural, that's one of the things. I mean, what's to say that becoming the Hulk wouldn't be a good thing at certain times? I don't mean crush, kill, but to be super strong or to have or whatever. Who knows what the gamma rays are doing? But if they're trying to block it from happening to us, now there is blocking any of it out, and then there's diverting it, like I was talking about the three spaceships that act like capacitors. So if there's too much energy coming in, it'll hit a capacitor that'll absorb it and deflect it. And so we don't get the full brunt of these things because, quite frankly, we should have been fried a couple of years ago when we lost the ozone layer that they don't discuss anymore, by the way. And so, but who knows what these energies are doing to us? But the thing is if we don't get any of them, well, what's to say that, that's not, those are the healing energies that we've been expecting. So, but anyway, we're going to find out whether these rays are good or bad, I think. Max says astrophysicists think that stellar somethings are going near our sun, stellar cores. See, and I think, and I'm sorry, and I think I know who you're talking about. I think that stellar core is bullshit, because the stellar cores are the spaceships that are cloaked. Those are those giant things that are out there, and people are trying to give them names in a physical world. And those stellar cores are giant freaking spaceships, and they're trying to discuss it. And but it's a stellar core, it's a something. No, it ain't. Please call it what it is. But see, they're still trying to make it fit this 3D reality. And I think I know who you're talking about. And I think the woman's great, but wonderful ideas. And she is a smart woman. And I'm not trying, but they've got to take the next leap. That's not a stellar core. It's just not. It's giant spaceship that are cloaked. And you're seeing them in these instances. Yes, they are real. Why can't they figure out how they're acting? It's because they're manned. They're going different places. Well, that's not acting right. No, because there's people in it or something, but this is a thing and it's part of a comet. No, it ain't. That's where we got to take this leap of faith. Now, I've already accepted it long ago, and I've been cautiously trying to tell people, listen, a stellar core wouldn't be moving around like that, and it wouldn't be appearing, and it wouldn't be like this, and the gravitational fields and all that. Oh, no, no, no. But if that's a giant spacecraft, what? Yeah, if that's a giant spacecraft, then that kind of explains the things you can't explain. But they move around and they've got this energy, and we should be feeling these energies from them. Oh my God, they're floating around all the time. I watched one blow another one up overhead a few years back. I've discussed this. Holy crap! They boing, ping, poo. Wait a minute. Hang on. But they've got to. That's why I say they're thinking in 3D. They can't get past the human part of this. Now, I'd love these people to death, and I know they're trying, and deep in their heart, they're probably going to say one of these days, oh my God, it really was a freaking spaceship. I knew it all along, but I couldn't say it. I kept calling it a stellar core because in my mind, I can't say, oh my God, it's a freaking spaceship. When actually, when they find out that, guess what? You were right all along about the objects, except what they were. Or what they are. That's all. You were correct in how they were acting, and you were correct about this, but you were incorrect as to what they were. They appeared because in your 3D mind, you got to explain it. And the only thing that makes sense is a stellar core because of Planet X, and because of this, and because of the darkness, and the dark holes, and the dark planets, and that we can't see them, and no bullshit. If it's dark, it's going to pass in front of something. That's why, and I was on this Planet X kick years back, but it's like I kept looking in the same place, and I'm going, ain't nothing there, y'all. We've got Earth wobble that has to do with the Earth. We've got Shaman issues and energy coming from outer space that's heated up the magma on the planet. Now the scientists are catching up. I've been talking about this for years. The Earth is wobbling because of all the molten lava underneath us. Mother Earth is expanding. It's part of the deal. Things are, it's subduction zones and this and that. Now they're figuring out something. They came out with something just recently and I've been talking about it. I don't think there's a subduction zone. I think what it is just Mother Earth is starting to crack apart. Look at Southern Cal. Those earthquakes are still going on off the coast of Oregon. Guess what? They had a couple of big ones out there in that little, I can't think of the name of the place, but it's expanding. Well, they thought it was going under. Now they're not so sure. Now they're changing all their theories and their hypotheses. And if you just go with the expanded Earth thing, here we are. We've got extra energy from the sun, different color sun, energy coming from different parts of the galaxy and from the center of our own. Yes. And the earth is reacting. That makes sense. That's natural science. But everybody else has got to put some other kind of special kind of spin on it. So look at it for what it is. It's a natural event. And it is natural in itself. Like a volcano gets enough energy, it blows. Mother Earth is expanding. Why all the earthquakes and everything? Why is all this stuff going on? The magma in the planet is moving, is expanding, and Earth is reacting. And then for the next few years, as many of us have been told, we're going to be, Earth is going to be kind of rock and rolly, shaky, shaky. And we need to hang on. And once these energies and things calm down, Earth is going to calm down itself and settle into a better period. That's the next stage. We're here. This is the end, because all these energies are going to move Mother Earth around and give us all a, a good dose of space energy and cosmic energy. It's changing our point of view. So many of us are now thinking in such higher levels and thought patterns that, like, crap, 5 years, 2 years ago, I don't know if I could have had this level of conversation, because there were so many things I had to learn along the way. So many little layers and pages of the book to open up and go, son of a bitch. And wait, that actually relates back here. You turn the page back and reread a part, and then you go back. You know what I mean? So in the reference of things, it's like, oh, holy cow. But the whole point of this is that there is another reality that is beyond our 3D, and we're just getting a glimpse of it. Wait till we start understanding it fully. Wait till it really shows up. Wait till we have a teacher. Whoa, man, I'll be an apprentice. Show me how to do this, you know? So, but why do aliens think we're stupid? We think we're going to get away with it without having to learn anything, and that we're all going to, be like Bernie Sanders and get free everything. I'm being facetious in there, but kind of sort of to the point. But the idea, though, that, wait a minute, if we all have replicators, then nobody's going to be hungry. If we all have our own independent power machines, I don't have to go to the mall to buy clothes. I don't have to go to the grocery store to buy coffee. Well, maybe coffee, because they say that's one of the delicacies in the universe is coffee from here. So we might still brew coffee on our own. But to the point, though, that, if we can replicate these things and take our waste, and instead of dumping it back into Mother Earth, we put it back in the recycler and turn it into something else. Regardless of what the mess is, we can put it in the recycler, and it takes those molecules and turns it into something useful. That makes sense. Come on, sure. And every household could have one. Trash compactor? Think about that. So you got something that's a trash compactor, but instead of it just compacting garbage, you got to take it out, and all this other stupid stuff that the aliens think about. Oh my God, you've already compacted it into a cube. Now turn it into tomorrow's dinner, or make a table, or you need a new car for the truck. Here, this is the size, and poof, out it comes from the table scraps, or, you know what I'm saying? So we got to think about things in a different point of view. Think about Star Trek, if you will. They go over to replicator, ding, computer. I want Earl Grey tea. Bing, why not? Wouldn't that be better than a microwave? Yeah, that's why aliens think we're stupid. I'm going to quit this, guys. It's been an absolute joy always hanging out with you. And I know some of this has been humorous maybe to you. I hope it has given you a little bit of a giggle, but at the same time, I hope it has prompted some thought, as I know it has by some of your Breaking Dawn's gone already. Good night. You saw Planet X. It's already gone by. Yep. Supernatural. Think of the possibilities of learning and creating and living freely, just outside just the realm of a baseline of constant controlled survival. Now that sounds interesting. Exactly. If we didn't have to fight for everything, I mean, the people down in the Bahamas, and they're fighting each other, and killing each other over what little bit of food. Come on. If we had some replicators, we could fly in there. They could just be making food. You know, a simple power plant, something like that. You know, and we've already got stores of food. We've got giant helicopters that'll fly a freaking tank in. You mean you can't take food in that fast? How long does it take to move food in? Come on now, somebody's not on the ball here. Of all the things that I see that's tragic, as human beings, we already have the capabilities to fly people in. We could fly in two helicopters of troops. They establish a perimeter. They fly in another one with food. They keep everybody in line and start passing it out. They get another, they set up another rally point. Come on, folks, we can do this. But that's not what I see. Everybody's got a wrangle, and where are we going to get this, that, and the other thing? There are people who know where stuff is at all times. They can say, I need 200 cases of something. Go to warehouse over here. You guys pull it out and send it over to here, and it's going to be a blah, blah, blah. Come on, guys. That's what I think is appalling. And it shouldn't matter what country it comes from. If there are people who are hungry and starving and who are obviously blown off the map, my God, the fact that any of them lived through it is, last year's hurricane here in South Georgia, we had 100-mile gusts and some over 100, and the eye wall passed just 20 miles west of me, for God's sakes. It was horrible, and I wasn't on an island, but it took a week before we could even drive around here because of all the downed lines and things and stuff. So people say, well, I don't think they really got it that bad. Bullshit. South Georgia was a disaster area for damn near a month for many people last year with the hurricane that came up through the Panhandle. So, people are saying, whiny, crying, blah, 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 people really don't. Listen, if we didn't have our own stores of things, and I mean people, they lost everything in the freezers and every single one of the stores all along here that all of us go, milk, bread, cheese, ice cream melted. It was horrible. So we didn't have anything. You couldn't get a gallon of milk for almost 2 weeks, a simple gallon of milk, and let alone anything else because the freezers were broken. Some of the lines still weren't hooked up. I mean, it was difficult. They were if you had cash, you could buy stuff because the power was out and people needed food. So they had dry goods, but only if you had cash. So, I mean, and this happened in South Georgia last year. So it's like, wait a minute, this stuff can happen anywhere. But the thing is, we were kind of sort of prepared, but God forbid them folks out there, on an island, and they don't have anybody. But there are people in power who do. That's why aliens think we're stupid. You know what I mean? They got to bicker and complain. There are people who need food. Give it to them. We got to know. And if we don't, we'll figure it out. But help them. Anyway, my friends, my lovelies, happy Sunday. Wow, crap, it is 1 o'clock, after 1. All right. Have a good evening, Marie, all y'all. Yeah. So, blessing everybody. As I always pray, I'll close with a prayer as usual. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive and utilize the healing, the teaching, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to accept and receive with your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, and all of your relations, to accept and receive and share the wisdom, the teaching, and all the blessings from the universe. So be safe, everyone. To those of you who already said good night, Supernatural, Breaking Dawn, I think, is out. Max, Marie, Supernatural, I think I said. Cherry, I think you're gone, but it's still, and anybody else that's hanging out there, blessings to you all, and keep your spirits high. We are all in this together. So TTFN from South Georgia, I'm your friend and narrator, Hawkeye Two Feathers. And until next time, be sweet, be safe, and be confident. Blessings back, Marie, and to everybody. Be safe out there.